and nominate for your favorite podcast. There are 4 amazing shows I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards, the longest-running premier awards event in the podcasting space, open to shows worldwide. You can vote at podcastawards.com and nominate the following shows. Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast in the categories of education and storyteller drama. This show is based on the world-famous Writers of the Future contest created in 1983 by L. Ron Hubbard and provides writing tips and art advice from contest judges, winners, and industry professionals for writers and artists wanting to take their next step, along with the needed inspiration to keep on going. Next one, The Centralist in the category of politics and news. The Centralist is a much different news and political program. It is not opinion news, it's just the facts so you, the people, can make up your own minds on the different stories reported on. Listen as Joe Montaldo brings to you just the facts from trusted sources. Science and Beyond in the category of science and medicine. Science and Beyond is a true science-based program that explores every aspect of science, from how things work to why we need science. And where science can't explain something, we go beyond to see if we can figure it out on our own how something works. The Outer Realm in the category of society culture. The Outer Realm is a very popular show hosted by Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, with guests who are well-versed within their respective fields of ufology, paranormal, cryptozoology, and anything else that would be deemed otherworldly. Nothing is off limits in the Outer Realm. Michelle is an international public figure and has spent the last 18 years working in the paranormal. Her co-host Amelia is a remote viewing medium with 9 years experience working in missing children and cold and active murder cases. So go to podcastawards.com to vote for these 4 shows and any others you enjoy listening to. That's podcastawards.com.
Galaxy Audio presents Battlefield Earth, a saga of the year 3000 by L. Ron Hubbard.
Part 1, Chapter 1.
Man,
said Turl,
is an endangered species.
Man.
Peace. Yeah, no, I love that. Sorry, guys, I had to play that. If y'all go vote for us, you can go over here and sign up at the podcast. I'm sorry, my brain. Anyway, you heard what Emily said. Go over there and sign up. Or you can go by the UPR website and just click on all 5 shows are listed. There's actually 5 shows. Chasing Prophecy is actually listed too. You can go over and just click on the show. It'll bring you to the site, and you can vote. It's not a big fuss or buzz. We got 5 shows up, so go vote for us. Yes, we like having shows up for for podcast awards, and we've been up for awards. We were up for awards with iHeart. We've been up for awards with podcast. I can't remember the name of this thing. But we're up for their awards anyway. And then we've won 2 awards in New Orleans. So, hey, we like winning awards, especially if they come with money or a trip to, wherever. I'm just saying, I like that much better. But anyway, welcome to the Centralist. Michael Angley's with me tonight. We might as well start out with this. Because I see COVID is up 165% in California. In the footnotes of the show, you'll notice it says Michael Angley predicted this 4 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
It said, we talked about this on the show about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And Michael was talking about it, how the Delta variant is going to spread. I don't know why. They keep saying that the southern states won't get their damn shots and the disease is going to go wild down there. But yet it seems to be going wild in California, where they're supposed to be more educated.
Florida and California lead the pack. But I'll tell you something. We talked, what was the last show that we did? We talked a little bit about this. The Lambda virus, right? Well, the Lambda variant, which is out of Peru, they just found it in the wastewater in Las Vegas. So for their people have been coming and going through Las Vegas with this Lambda, really infectious. Worse, we haven't even gotten a Delta yet, and then Lambda is here. So it's going to be like this for a long time. And when's it going to be over? I don't know.
Well, I'm not looking forward to it being over. I see, what was it, Pfizer is coming up for their third shot now, but the CDC says we don't need the third shot, which I didn't even get the second one. I got the Johnson & Johnson, but still.
Johnson & Johnson's coming out with a booster. Johnson & Johnson say that they hold pretty well against the Delta variant, but, I mean, it depends on what you consider pretty well. I mean, you got to look at the numbers and what the percentage is. So, yeah, if you have it, you have a less likely chance of dying. But the problem with the Lambda one, they feel so far as of today that there's no vaccine that can fight it as far as we know. So they have to go back to the drawing board and, come up. That's another 6 months to 2 years. Trump is the one with the Project Warp Speed. He got a vaccine done in a timely fashion that was unheard of. It has never happened before. It's unprecedented. Never.
Well, yeah,
never.
He did a great job on it, but they still. The media still, which all I ever hear about Trump in the media is that he's going to prison because of his company. And I'm like, I was laughing because I'm like, he hasn't even been indicted. The guy's indicted, and his lawyer said nobody's going to jail. They said this is a fishing expedition. There's just nothing really here. I mean, they're going after perks. I've never heard of any corporate guy going to jail over perks.
Right.
I gotta say, I mean, this is just total bullshit, is what this is.
Especially government people.
Yeah, they may make him repay money or something. Well, Trump hasn't had this problem. They didn't say Trump was even involved in the perk thing. Trump wasn't even running the company when this went down, so he's not really involved in this. But he's suing. Well, he's got to go give an affidavit. He's suing Facebook. He's suing Mark Zuckerberg is what he's doing. He's suing Jack, whatever his name is. He's suing all the social medias outright. He's not suing the companies themselves. He's suing the owners of the company for allowing this to happen because he said, and this is his words, not mine, that the people running the fact checkers are all liberals. There's no conservatives involved. There's not even any centralists or middleists involved or any independents. It's just all left wing. Well, that's illegal. I mean, you can't go around kicking people off of places when you buy a political ideology. That's illegal in this country. And it doesn't matter whether Facebook is a private owned company or not. You can't do that, people. I'm sorry to say. So it looks like he's got a good case against them. Especially Twitter. I mean, Twitter is so left wing, it's not even funny. The other day I said something on Twitter. What was it? I said, look, I'm tired of you lefty loonies and you righty crazies. I'm in the middle. I'm watching all you nuts run around. They wanted to kick me off. So I said, look, you kick me off, I'm going to sue you too. I said, because that's bullshit. You can't cook somebody off because of their political ideology. And they want to, but now they realize that they can't. Now that Trump's going after, they can't. And then, so here's the senator in Arizona comes out and says, yeah, 2 days ago, I heard 250,000 vote discrepancy. Now it's 700,000 vote discrepancy. Mm-hmm. So now they found discrepancies in Arizona and in Michigan. And now it's looking bad. And it's looking bad in Pennsylvania since the information came out about, why the water pipe broke and everybody had to leave but the liberals. Everybody made all the GOP leave, but the liberals stayed there and were hauling out boxes and hauling in boxes. And it wasn't anything even major. So that's just... the more we get into it, the more this election stinks. And, I still blame it on Trump, though. I mean, everybody knew everybody was going to try to cheat in this election. Trump knew. He'd been saying it for a year. Oh, they're going to cheat. They're going to cheat. Well, you should have done something about it, dude. You should have made sure none of your people left. You should have made a big stink if they tried to run you out so that the media had to get involved and say,
that's the bitch of it, huh? Even if you know something like that, the protocols all belong to each individual state and a lot of the ins and outs of how they count the ballots. And that's the thing. If they are intent on fixing an election, they can do it, man. You know that. And the Democrats weren't going to lose. They were going to win by any means possible. And they did. But it's unnatural. It's unnatural.
Right. But now
because you got a guy in charge. But see, now they're all fighting and infighting. Down the city, a guy just won who's a big Democrat moderate. I mean, he's almost a Republican, and they want to get rid of the heavy liberals, man. So there's a war, just like we talked about a long time ago. What was going to happen with the Democrats after the election? They're going to go to war with each other, and that's what they're doing.
And they are. They're having a meltdown. I mean, they're seriously having a meltdown. So you got the progressives on one. So the progressives just cracks me up, by the way. It shows you the hypocrisy of the left. So the liberals, they went and what was it, 2 weeks ago? They went to D.C. and were protesting because of global warming. So we got to do climate change. We got to do climate change. We got to do climate change. So yesterday, the progressives, the Squad and AOC and them came up and said, no, you got to go easy on China now because you got to stop talking about, how bad China is. And this really, why would we stop talking about China? China is an evil freaking country.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of hope for China, but not right now.
That's the sense. It's not the people. It's the damn government.
It's the government.
It's the communist government. And they lie. Do you believe that they only lost 5,200 people to COVID?
Nobody believes that.
Come on, man. These people are such liars.
You don't bring out 40 incinerators to Wuhan because you got 5,000 people. You could have done that one incinerator in 3 or 4 days. You brought out 40. That means you lost a big chunk of your population. 100,000, 200,000.
They ordered 50,000 urns just for that one time period.
We know when the hospital collapsed. Well, we know when the hospital collapsed, they lost 5,000 people. Yep. But nobody else, none of the other cities, Beijing, anywhere else got man. Come on, and you find out that guess what? China's not fully vaccinated. They're like the United States. They're having a hard time getting people out in the outreaches don't want to get vaccinated. They're like, screw you. Right. We don't want it. There's no disease out here. We don't want to be involved in it. So Russia's having the same problem.
Millions of the vaccine given out in India was fake, and then they're wondering how that happened. How it's money and stealing. But I'm wondering if that's happened elsewhere, maybe here in the United States. How do people know that they actually got the vaccine? It's that $30 a shot, and the government's paying for it. That's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, and I mentioned that when I got the Johnson & Johnson because I had no side effects from it. I said I actually said this to the guy at the Walmart. I said I wonder if it's a placebo. He said no, it's legit. I had no side effects. Now don't get me wrong, I did have COVID, a year earlier, so maybe that's why. I can't rule that out. Now my wife, when she got the Moderna, or whichever one she got, I think it was Moderna. She got the first time she had some side effects. Second time was pretty heavy. So. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she got the real shot, but with me, I don't know.
The Moderna second shot was giving people a lot of side effects. They spaced it out to 4 weeks now. So when you get your first shot, then 4 weeks later you get the second shot, and then 2 weeks later you're technically immune. You are considered a previous positive, but they only gave a 90-day window for previous positives because they had figured that a previous positive could also get, the other variants and the other versions. But in the antibody tests and all the other work that they've been doing, they said that initially the people who got COVID, that they didn't have any vaccine and they were able to fight it off because their immune system bounced. They said it was like a snap and a super response from your natural immune system. They said that the antibodies from those people would be the best to have antibody therapy and get away from vaccines and get away from pharmaceutical companies and all the other stuff. And England, they're trying to have a pill. They got 7 different methods now. They're trying to make a pill. So if you get COVID, you take the pill, bang, and it protects your lungs so you don't die.
It's like Amelia said she had gotten some side effects when she got the first shot of Pfizer. But the pill thing is like what is it they give you? Now, if you go to your doctor within 3 days of getting the flu, they can give you this pill or this shot, and bam, the flu's gone like within a day. But if you wait more than 3 days, there's nothing they can do for you. So they tell you that. But a lot of times you don't know you have the flu. Like when I get the flu, a lot of times I don't know it until I'm like to day 4 or 5. So it's one of those things that we got to deal with. But the thing that bothers me about Pfizer and Moderna, see, Johnson & Johnson was a more traditional vaccine. So I can understand why it may have issues with some of the variants. That makes sense to me. But the Pfizer shot and the Moderna shot's not supposed to, because of the simple fact that it doesn't go after disease, it goes after what it looks like. So it's all the little knobby spikes on there. Well, as long as COVID has those, it's supposed to go after that. So, but if a new variant comes out that wears those off, and it just becomes a rounded thing without them, it's not going to recognize it.
They're all designed to do the same thing, to boost your immune system. Yeah. They're all designed. They actually were cancer drugs initially.
Yeah.
So,
they were before they were cancer drugs. They were. Well, it starts with a B. They were using for that.
They weren't even drugs yet. They were just experimental. So it was something that they had drawn upon. But it was just a brash, got to get to this finish line type of thing. And but now we're seeing these other variants. But let's say Lambda comes along, and we don't have to say it. It's already in England. It's already here. Obviously, if it's in wastewater, and this is how deep these guys go, dude. They're testing the wastewater in Las Vegas to look for strains. But if you imagine all that water and filter it out, but you found that strain which meant it's omnipresent in Las Vegas. All that flights and coming and going, people all together, super spreader type of casinos, right? But this is the variant that supposedly is not going to, be susceptible to anything. It's going to get right past your immune system. This is the Israelis saying this. This is the health officials in Peru saying this, who are fighting it off now. They're saying people are getting it and dropping dead. I mean, that's scary because shot or not, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. If it's aerosolized, you can be up in the air for 2 or 3 hours in a building, in a room. I mean, that's not like this other one, the first one, at all.
No, it's one of the reasons I like living in the South because it's hot down here.
Yeehaw!
Yeah, most of the things that get in the air down here die within about 30 minutes, so that's a plus.
Because it's so goddamn hot and oppressive.
Well, it's not even that. People don't realize, but humidity weighs stuff down. So if you've got like a COVID variant in the air, because it's the humidity is going to attach itself to it, it'll drop it down to the ground way faster than it will anywhere else. Well, like our friends in Canada right now, they're pretty heavy in humidity right now, so that's a plus. But we only have that in the summertime. In the wintertime, that goes away. There is no high humidity, maybe 40%, maybe 50%. I mean, right now it's 90% outside. So, I mean, you could sneeze and watch it go to the ground. It's kind of funny. Yeah. But that's now. Come wintertime, that's not going to be around. That's going to be gone. So you got to worry about all these things. And
these types of things thrive on cold and dry. They like it cold and dry. Flu loves it, man. The flu can stay alive. Plain old flu can stay alive for a couple of days on a shopping cart. So imagine you push a shopping cart, then you touch your nose, bang, there it is. It's got access.
I was listening.
So, but COVID's different though. It's airborne. It's a whole different world.
I was listening to one of the local DJs on WWL. It was either Scooter or Tommy Tucker. I can't remember which one it was. But so he talks about he first time he ever went and got the flu shot. He got the flu. He got it pretty bad too. He said, I've never got it since then. I've never got the flu again. And the doctor's going, man, that's bad information to be putting out to your people. He said, that's not how it always works. But the flu shot's usually it's about, 30-35% effective, maybe 40%. Usually it's not even that. I mean, the year before COVID came along, it was 22% effective. So odds are, even if you took the shot, you were still going to get the shit. It's just harsh. Now, my wife's been taking
thousands of strains.
My wife's been taking a flu shot for about 10 years, and it has been working for her. So I'm not going to tell people not to get it, but I mean, I'm just saying it's like a crapshoot. What you're going to get now. COVID's got way higher rates, and that kind of bothers me. So the flu 20-30%, but yet COVID's 90% to 100%. Now, how in the hell does that happen? How come we can't make a virus to take care of the flu that's a 90%, but we can make a COVID, which is a deadly killer, for 90%? It's just things like that always bother me because there's not complete truth in there. There's something going on with it. Jeannie, when you wrote in, no, I'm not telling you not to get. I got the COVID shot. I got the Johnson & Johnson. I recommend getting the Johnson & Johnson because it seems to have less side effects and it's one shot. But they do say that the Moderna and Pfizer are better. They have a better survival rate, they have a better rate of not getting in the hospital. So Johnson & Johnson, last I checked, was 63 to 70%. Well, so far, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, and Pfizer are almost 100% of people not dying from it. Almost. There have been people that died. I don't want to take that away. I don't want to sell that out. There have been some cases where people die. Well, there's been some weird stuff like a lady got the Moderna shot just recently, but when she got the second shot, it paralyzed her. They have no idea why, not even a clue why. And we know Johnson & Johnson initially had some problems with women who were on birth control. That's a matter of fact. I was talking with Amelia and Michelle about that last night. I said, you should get vaccinated if you're in an area where it might be prominent. But if you're going to get the Johnson & Johnson, don't be in breeding age because it might do something else, give you blood clots or something else. So you got to read up on this stuff people. There's a lot of things that you're not going to find unless you go take your time and read. Local news is because local news is owned by NBC, ABC, CBS. They have an agenda, so they're working for whoever. So you're not going to see them always tell the truth. Us, we're just going to report the news for what it is. I'm sorry to say, but Michael and I are just going to give you the news. That's what we're talking about tonight. Michael's been working with these people with COVID for a while. That's why we talk about it. And he predicted the Delta virus 5 weeks before it hit everybody. So if he's telling you about the landing, when you need to get your ass away from it. So I would go in areas where you don't expect it. Now it's hard right now. It's summertime. The casinos are open everywhere. So maybe Saturday.
No masks.
For a while,
a lot of people aren't wearing masks, and they're gathering together, big gatherings. But think about now. there's a group most susceptible now to these new variants are children. So it wasn't affecting kids as much, the original COVID. Now this one, the Delta one we're talking about is, and the problem is there's no vaccine for children from 0 to 12. They got nothing. And talk about super spreaders, man. They go to school, they go to camps, they're in large groups with other kids. You can't keep kids apart. It's very difficult. So that's going to be a whole thing. Then you're going to see a lot of community spread because of that. And we're going to see the rates and numbers go back up. But look at COVID this time last year in July. It's exactly the same. The same numbers, the same everything. And then right after that, July 18th last year was the big spike, man. Boom, it went right up like a roller coaster. This thing's alive. It's trying to stay alive. It's mutating to get around our immune system. It's more intelligent than people think, man. It's actually pretty alarming.
The good thing about
normal,
this is,
let me just say, the normal COVID virus mutates maybe twice in its entire lifetime, and that could be several years. This thing's mutated dozens of times already, and that's pretty amazing in of itself.
It is, but in the long run, that's good for us. And what I mean by that, ladies and gentlemen, vaccines or viruses that mutate quickly usually mutate themselves out after about 3 or 4 years. So that's actually good science. That actually does happen. But ones like Michael was talking about, the other ones that go 1 or 2, 3 times, sometimes they can linger around for a decade just because they're really slow to mutate. The ones that usually, now you got to remember this too. By saying what I just said, it's quite possible in another year this virus will mutate itself out. But it's also quite possible that it comes in a strain that cannot be treated.
That's what they're thinking about the Lambda, unfortunately, and that's something that they don't even know yet because there's still, the information I see from the Mayo Clinic, and then believe it or not, I trust Israel for this medical information. They're doing a great job, and they've got variants that have broken through their vaccine. They claim to be the most vaccinated country. But yet, here you're still seeing people die. So nothing's 100%.
Now,
like you said before.
One of the scary parts and not scary parts about this is sometimes we get lucky and a serious variant like that hits somebody and it doesn't kill them, and it shows a natural immunity, which can be used to treat people with. That's why when I first got COVID, because I got the really horrible strain. I got one of the worst ones there was. And it was so funny because, it really just whooped my ass. Like I said, I put my wife in the hospital for 11 days. The thing about it is sometimes they can take your plasma and use that to treat people. And I've been watching. I actually offered mine, but the doctors were like, no, it's been too long since you had it, which was fine by me. Don't take no blood if you don't need no damn vampire blood. I've been in enough hospitals not to want to be vampired out every time I go in. It's like when you stay in a hospital for a couple of days, like at least twice a night in the middle of the night, you got your arms, they're coming to get blood, man. It's just ridiculous how much blood they take. And in this case, these viruses are spreading. All we can do is hope that somebody comes up with a natural immunity, or one of these other companies comes up with a cure. Well, not a cure, but with a vaccine. And we got to wait and see. That's the problem. It's a waiting game. And Biden's administration doesn't seem to be as keen as Trump's was on getting to changing the vaccines.
No, they're not at all. They thought it was going to be over, dude, and they were going to declare victory, man. They were sitting back waiting for it. Okay, we got the vaccines out there. We beat it. The Democrats beat it. This was going to be their war drum, right? Now, the cases are going up like you wouldn't believe. All right, day before yesterday, I think we were at maybe 9,000 cases. It's been hovering 9,000 cases a day. Yesterday, 38,000 cases one day. So you're seeing the spike. You're going to see the spike in every state. Florida and California right now are the worst. Nevada's coming in. Texas is coming in. These states have a lot of daily positivity rates. And then other countries, not just us, dude. Look at Russia. Oh, my God. So Brazil was fighting the Delta variant, and Brazil's got, they've lost thousands and thousands of people too, man. They're almost at our number, believe it or not. We had 600,000. Brazil is catching up. So, but they are now fighting the Lambda variant because they're right there with Peru, and then people just dropping dead. But they have to approach this like they approached the Spanish flu. Which was a bird flu back in 1918, and this is the last time we've had a pandemic like that. And what did people do? They wore masks. They stayed away from one another. But there was less people back then. It wasn't as dense. It was 1918. There wasn't much going on. There was no air travel. So different circumstances, man.
Now, people, what I like about this new map, let me get where I can see it better because I can't see it on that little screen.
I can't see that dang thing on that little tiny screen.
Well, they can blow it up.
We old, man.
Well, no, they can blow it up full screen now. I'm looking at it now.
Blow it up.
So if you look at the map, you'll notice there's dark blue spots all over the map. The majority of them actually right now are in Nevada and in California. But don't let it fool you, because if you look down across Texas right here where the mouse is, they're dark blue, and down here in Florida is as well. And then you got to look, it looks like a little spike up here and then up here in the upper part of New York. So you can see it. Now, you can also see spots, the white ones, where there's nothing going on at all. And then you see places like Louisiana, Mississippi, where they're light blue, where there's still cases, but they don't seem to be blooming yet. And I say yet because, like, we just went through down here. We had Essence Fest was in New Orleans at 4th of July, so we had a lot of visitors in town. And then, the casinos are all open here completely. I was just in – Linda and I went and spent a day in Vicksburg, Mississippi, 2 days actually. We went up there, and we went to these casinos. Now, these are older casinos. They've been around a long time. We got all new casinos down here because Katrina wiped them all out. But these are older casinos. We didn't even want to stay. The places were nasty. They were dirty. You felt like you were going to get some disease being there. I mean, really, you did. I mean, and look, I'm not hating on y'all Vicksburg up there, but still, man, y'all need to get your shit together and clean them casinos better.
You would think they'd be sanitizing.
Well, because the governor said, "Oh, it's gone now, and you're good." Nobody wearing masks.
Well, that's what they said.
Few people wearing masks.
Yeah,
but they still have the hand dispensers out, which is cool. So you can clean your hands from time to time. People. One of the things I've learned since COVID started, I was always sticking my hand in my ear, scratching my nose, rubbing I don't do that anymore. My hands rarely get around my face unless they've been sanitized. For the simple fact that was one of the best ways to catch it. Now, you can catch it in the air, if you're there. Fortunately, like Mike and I was just talking right now, the air is real heavy here right now, so it's coming down off the air real quick and settling on the ground. So you have less chance of catching it.
Vegas, dude. Imagine in the casinos, no open air, just people inside smoking cigarettes too. On top of that, Vegas, man. Yeah. But thousands of people inside all together, breathing the same air. And then they found the Lambda variant, they found the Delta variants there. These are people who are coming and going, and they're going to bring it back to wherever they came from and spread it there too. So, and then keep in mind, right now, there's less testing. They took down all these testing sites. In the poor areas, there's no testing anymore. So this thing is going to plume. And by the time they say, oh, my God, I can't believe what's happening, it's going to be too late. And we're going to be playing catch up like we did last year.
Now, this map right here is just male, female. And you can see the real spike here was in January 21. It's come down to here. But Mike's right. If you go back to July, you'll see here you are, July 20, right here. You can see the spike already starting. So we're down here in March, and then here's May. We start going up. Boom, here's 4th of July. We go back. Oh, look like we're going to settle down a little bit, and then bam, we up through the roof.
Yep.
So you're going to see this, people. All I can tell you is don't drop your guard. Is the best thing I can tell you right now. Act like it's still going on. If you don't want to wear a mask, fine, but pay attention to your environment. That's like
people need to get vaccinated.
Yeah,
they need to get vaccinated.
I hate to say it, but you do. At this point, I think you're going to be safer. Now here we go. Lovely map here.
If the Lambda is purely can get around vaccines, that's something other. You know what I mean? They're making booster shots as we speak for the Johnson & Johnsons, for the Moderna, for Pfizer, and that's going to be readily available. What they said, maybe around September. So I mean, not too soon, a couple months away. But it depends. It's a race. You got to. I mean, you have a new variant. It's going to be more deadly, more infectious. There's still 2/3 of the country that's not properly vaccinated. Yeah. 1/3 no vaccine. Another third only the one shot, and that doesn't mean anything. After a while, so the one shot might give you a low percentage of protection, maybe 35% against the original strain, not these other ones, though. So they need to determine, a lot has to happen, man. But remember last year, Joe, the CDC, it was Renfield in March, said there is no threat to the United States of America for COVID-19. We have nothing to worry about, nothing. And then thousands of people died. We lost almost 600,000 people since then.
Yeah, we're at 604,000. So I'm looking at this map now. Ladies and gentlemen, what's interesting about this map, it does prove the vaccinations do kind of work. Because you'll see here, it says last 30 days, you see a spike. But here's the last 30 days as well in deaths, and you see it dropping significantly. So people are still getting sick. They're just not dying from it.
The problem is it takes a few weeks to get those numbers. There are people now clogging the hospitals and on respirators. So you're getting to that, in some states you're getting to that same situation, but it's not really bad yet. But if Lambda comes along and is more infectious and yada yada yada, does all these things, that could be a whole game changer. You know what I mean?
Now, according to this, 67% of the adults in this country have been vaccinated. That may or may not true. I'm thinking first shot. I don't think all of them had their second shot.
Right. Half of them are properly vaccinated. 1/3 of people are so-called properly vaccinated. The other 1/3 only had the one shot and they didn't go back to get the other shot. Then you have another third that has no vaccine whatsoever.
Now, 33 million people in this country have gotten it now. Currently, 26,000 people have. So it's 26,000 new cases, 300 new deaths. Well, we'll say 293, but still. So we're pumping through here, guys. We're going through these charts. We're just showing you where we're at. So next week when Michael and I come on, or 2 weeks from now when we come back on, we're going to be doing this again. Now, if there's a drastic spike, we're going to tell you, look, you should have been getting vaccinated because, this is where you are. Now, some people don't need to because some people are in areas where they're probably not going to see it or they're retired and they're not going to be around, things like that. But if you feel like if you're going to do a lot of traveling, it's best to get it.
Yeah, just get the shot. Go for the Johnson & Johnson. It's a one-time deal. I talked to a lot of people about it, and I've never heard anyone tell me there's any real side effects to Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, I didn't experience. Now, this is interesting. Last 7 days, 34 cases. That's it. 7 days at 100,000. Now, here's January 21st of 2020. You're actually seeing 10,000 out of every 100,000. So, yes, we have made progress, but we haven't wiped this thing out by any means. And I don't want people to get feeling all cozy and safe and thinking, hey, look, we're good, because we're not. We're still in a position where you need to be paying attention to your environment. And I mean, you don't feel comfortable with the shot, I'm not going to tell you to get it, but.
All right, these are my numbers. So yesterday, there was 36,990 confirmed cases in the U.S. It was a daily increase of 31,000. Today, the numbers aren't totally in yet. They're still counting. Last was 22,569, but you can add another, it'll match yesterday and probably a little bit more. And then also they don't count on the weekends now, the World Health Organization. They gave that up. But then you look at that's a huge increase. And now we're seeing the big spikes. But look at death now. So yesterday, the death toll in the U.S. from COVID-19 was 473 deaths. The day before was 51. The day before that was 31. The day before that was 81. So it was kind of fluctuating in that number. But that's a big jump in one day. And this is the stuff we're going to start seeing. These are the dailies that are coming in, of the big numbers. But this is the stuff we're going to start seeing. I mean, let's look at Canada. Let me see what they've got. And I like this because it gives me the daily number, man, which is really important. So Canada had dropped all the way down. I mean, they were pretty flat out. July 3rd, they had 0 confirmed cases, And then July 4th, 1,033, then 344, and then back up 500, 600. So they're starting to spike, and they've been under lock and key, Joe. They've been under lock and key. But let's go back to July 1st of 2020. Same thing, of confirmed cases. I mean, same realm, 172 cases, 238 cases. They even dropped down to 0 on July 3rd. So probably more like it's a holiday thing that they weren't really counting. You know what I mean? Because all the other days, 568. So not much from last year to this year. Not much change. New variants, new styling, but people's habits are still the same. Their habits are still the same, and that's the problem. Is that when they gather together, they spread it. They spread it, and they don't have an idea. I mean, there are people who don't wear the mask who haven't been vaccinated who are willfully, hey, I'm not going to do it. But let's look at Russia, right? Russia's since June 5th, and June, so about 9,000, 10,000 cases a day. Since June 5th, it's spiked. Here we are, 25,000 cases a day. So this is the new Delta variant that Russia's fighting. But their death toll today, 726 deaths, and that yesterday about 734. So they're in that realm, and that also spiked. And this is the variant, man. This is the mutation. So I mean, you could look at Brazil, you could look at all these other countries. England, it's spiking there, and they just reopened everything.
This is the Fiona hour, man. She decided she wants to be on TV.
31,977 in England today. New cases. Let's go back to to June 5th, 3,000 cases. But this was the Delta. So they got May 17th, they had 0. So the Delta variant took control. They went from 400 detectable cases to 800. So now you see they've been increasing about 3,000 or 4,000 per day on an increase. So,
yeah, they were. Somebody just sent me this one. That's the. What are you doing? That's the different variants in different states. They got
and also
numbers. I have no idea which one they are.
Let's remind people that it's not that COVID will kill you or not. I mean, there's a chance anything can kill you. I mean, if you look at the percentages, it's what it does to your body, what it does to your lungs. I've seen them take people's beautiful, healthy lungs and destroy them, and then they lose 30-40% of their lung function for the rest of their lives. Maybe it's not something that's going to go away. These things are irreversible, so they could destroy your other organs, your kidneys. It goes after, but now the Delta variant really goes after people with diabetes. That's on number one on the Delta's list. It's going after people's skin. It's causing huge lesions in their skin. And it's got new symptoms, different symptoms. So all these things have to be accounted for, man. And man,
I see the WHO is forecasting a spike. So CDC isn't, but the WHO is. So I'm looking at these numbers here. So we're at 4 million deaths worldwide. 186 million corona cases, 170 million recovered.
528,540 deaths in Brazil.
Yeah, they're catching up with us.
That jumped. You know what? Well, it took maybe a month for them to get up there. I mean, it's crazy that Brazil looks like it's going to pass us by.
Well, they're forecasting where we are right now. They're forecasting roughly 400,000 cases a day for July worldwide. That's a lot. That's not anywhere near being under control yet.
July 9th, 1,648 deaths in Brazil. The day before, 1,007. I mean, so you look at a week there, they lose 10,000 people. 10,000 dead bodies, man, in a week. That's not even, you could have a war and not lose people like that.
No, that's true.
10,000 dead bodies in a week, man, and they have to burn them. They have to have mass graves. Brazil's not really all that big.
Actually, Phil, to answer your question, the largest spike in the United States was after Joe Biden got in office, not while Trump was in office. You can see it for yourself. There it is. This is
62,000 new cases yesterday in Brazil. So far today, they're logging in 54,022. So, 60,000 cases a day, and that's them. And so those people are going to spread. Now, let's talk about the spread rate, right? Where the original COVID, we regarded that one person can spread it to 2 to 3 people, and then those people will go positive, right? Even though they can expose lots of people, but that seems to be the number. This one is 1 in 7. The Delta I'm talking about, not even the Lambda, which is even more infectious, they're saying. But man, oh man, it's like not giving us a break, and people think it's over. That's mind-boggling.
And see, this map right here is deceiving. Now, this New York Times put this out. Now, we just got through telling you that New York, California, and Florida all had spikes in them. Now, if you notice, that's not what they're showing this map. They're showing Missouri and Arkansas is where, and Colorado is where all the spikes are.
Dude,
this
you know what?
This section of California has a major spike going on right here.
This is the second time that the CDC had people put their guard down on purpose. When they said in March last year that nobody had anything to fear of COVID-19, and then here we are, 604,000 people dead, 604,000 families that have been torn apart or distraught by this. And when the CDC gave misinformation, meanwhile, other people were saying no, it was opposite. I mean, I started seeing these little stories pop up in this Chinese. I use this thing called Tencent, which is they're kind of a conglomerate, but they do reporting for hospitals in China. They're also tied into the universities. I saw in the Wuhan area where they even. I mean, you can look back in the show in that late November. There was a story about a worker at the lab there who got bitten by a bat, and this story was in the South China University. It was in their magazine. It was like in their paper, but Tencent published it. But anyway, I mean, here at UPRN, we were reporting this from November 2019. Yeah. When the first, and I saw those outbreaks went from 12 to 48 people to 450 people, and then it went crazy. So on New Year's Eve, I did a show. If you remember, I did a show New Year's Eve, and we did a show New Year's Eve. That was the first death of what we know of what China reported anyway as COVID-19. Okay. And then what did we say? What I say? It was going to be a very challenging year of man-made disasters, and actual disasters.
It's actually been a challenging 18, 19 months is what it's been. And it's strange, but it's weird. Like I was thinking about Zach, because Zach smokes cigars. It is true, people. If you are a smoker, you have a less chance of getting COVID.
Used to be. Now anymore.
You know why? No, actually still lower. You want me to tell you why? Because nicotine coats your lungs and it makes it harder for the vaccine to get in there and take hold. It creates a layer over your lungs. Yeah, the CDC actually came out and said why finally. They finally figured it out. And that's what it was. You ever see somebody smokes in their house? After a long time, you'll notice the walls get discolored because there's a layer of nicotine that gets on everything. That's what was protecting them. And yes, the overseas labs all agreed that if you are RH negative, you do have less a chance of dying from COVID. Even though the U.S. tried to say no, all the rest of the world said yes. So you got to watch now, because if it came from Trump, they would immediately play it down. But then the rest of the world's going, no, don't play it down. It's the truth. Several studies did in Europe, and Europe came back and said, no, it's true. That is true.
Listen, if people want my advice, I'm going to tell them to do this, man. Wash your hands with soap and water. Throw hand sanitizer away. There's going to be a microbial war going on with bacteria from hand sanitizer. That's going to make COVID look like nothing if people keep using it, because it just makes bacteria stronger is what it does until they become resistant.
Antibiotics. They prove that with antibiotics. The reason we have
become resistant. They become resistant to all. But do the soap and water, use your mask. Don't go in big groups. If you're with groups of people that you trust, it's different, man. But I'll tell you, this is a war, man, and it's something that you're really just going to have to kind of hunker down. But I don't get the CDC. They're giving the opposite direction of what they should be doing, when other people are out there saying, what are you even saying? But they did this before. They did it before, and politicians got an enormous amount of power because of this pandemic.
Yeah, but they're losing it quickly, and it's bothering them.
Oh yeah, man.
The purple and the red states, they're through it. They're through it dealing with it, and they pretty much told Biden, "You can do whatever you want. We're not going back." England did the same thing. So did Germany. Like,
well, Biden wants to go door to door, man. Did you see that whole thing?
The last time I heard somebody going door to door was the Nazis going around taking people's guns away from them. I'm just not thinking that's going to go over.
My cousin said exactly the same thing earlier today. That's weird, man.
Yeah, because that's what it is. And Biden's trying to defend it. I heard him on TV today trying to defend it, but there is no defense for that. You can't go knocking on people's door and tell them they got to take a vaccine. That's illegal, especially one that hasn't even been approved by the CDC. Y'all forget this is a temporary thing. This is not got full approval by any means.
And let me say that my cousin, he's just not some crackpot. I mean, he was in the Air Force for 26 years, and he was a colonel, and he actually had he ran a base. I mean, and he was also Office of Special Investigations for many years. So, when he says something, I kind of take like, wow, because he's very thoughtful in the structure of what he thinks about, and he sees what's going on out there, and also the power. And there's people out there that love power. They love power, man.
Christian, the reason I got vaccinated originally was because of my customers. See, we had special dispensation because I own a maintenance company, and we had several properties that we handled and several businesses that we worked for. So we still had to be out in the field. So it made our customers feel better that we had been vaccinated. This is the first thing they asked you, have you been vaccinated? It's like, yeah. We were still wearing masks, mind you, but we told everybody, yeah, we had been vaccinated because it made them feel better. They were worried that we might, because, I mean, come on, we're in, every day. I'm in Lowe's, like yesterday, I was in Lowe's 5 times, Home Depot 3 times. I was in different businesses all over the place. So, I mean, and I was in other homes. So you never know where we're touching or where we've been. So, yes, you got to be careful. And in this case, I want my customers to feel comfortable. Whether they're vaccinated or not doesn't matter to me. I want them to know that we are, and they don't have to worry about catching it from us. And that's all that really matters, because then they can relax and let us do our job. I had one lady walking around, you sure you have vaccinated? Yes, ma'am. Would you like to see my card? She actually said yes. And I flipped on my phone and said, here you go. She's like, oh, thank you, sir. And she instantly got at ease and went back and left me alone, let me do my job.
But nothing. How do they know that's real? How do they know? I mean, you can print them up, and most of them are written by hand, So how do people know that? It's just for reassurance, It is. It's just for reassurance purposes. Now they're trying to make some kind of passport and augment things.
That's not going to go either. Too many states have already made. 35 states have passed laws now that you can't tell people they have to have the shot, or you can't ask them if they've been given a shot. Because I remember when Delta told Atlanta, because Delta got a big hub up in Atlanta, they were like, "Oh well, we're gonna make the passengers show us a shot." And Atlanta said, "You can leave our state, our city." And it's the second biggest hub in the country. So they were like, "Oh well, never mind. We're gonna let them on board because people aren't gonna go for that."
The U.S. has 601,231 deaths so far, but look at India. I mean, they went to 405,939. They did half of that within 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Yeah. I mean,
if they don't slow down, they'll pass us up.
So, I mean, and they're burning bodies. I mean, I looked it up. I looked up the size of this is how crazy I get with research. I looked up last year the size of smoke and how big COVID was, and if COVID could ride on smoke and get further away, and because it could live for quite a while once it's outside the host, several hours. They were saying 5 to 7 hours, maybe even longer. But so it's and then this January the CDC gave direction that people who smoke cigarettes or whatever could spread COVID easily because it can ride the smoke, But if you're burning bodies that are COVID positive and they died from that, how do you know that you're not spreading it through the air?
The WHO said that it can't live in a temperature over, I think it was 105 or 110 degrees. If you believe that. Well, no, nothing can. There's no. This is a fact.
Don't say that. Because look at prions. Prions can survive in 4,000 degrees.
There's no disease on the planet that can live over 162 degrees. None. Never been any. There's never been any. This ain't even the CDC. This is OSHA, and OSHA's not like the CDC. They will every restaurant, every guy. That's why food has to be cooked to 162 degrees. That's why it has to be that way. That's because no virus so far has ever survived past 162 degrees.
So prions can, and prions will cause mad cow disease and all that. It's a disease, you know what I mean?
No, that's how they kill mad cow disease, by heating it up. That's a whole.
No, they bury them. Then they got to bury them on the farm too, because they can't put them anywhere else. I mean, they can't burn them because they discovered that they can survive.
I have to argue with you with that, because one of the things we were taught is if something comes in, that's why, because the mad cow disease, if a cow comes in, it has to be cooked to 160 degrees because it kills it. They already proved that. I don't know where you got that from, but they proved it. And so far, nothing on this planet can survive because it disintegrates it. That's why. There's nothing that really is stable enough that it's not going to disintegrate at that particular heat level. And even if it's not that, at 200 or 240 degrees, nothing's surviving that. Not even metal surviving that.
Prions resist digestion by protein-cleaving enzymes, may remain infectious for years. when fixed by drying or even chemicals, can survive 200 degrees centigrade heat for 1 to 2 hours and become glued to stainless steel within minutes. And they're resistant to ionizing radiation. That's pretty intense.
That's not what OSHA says. OSHA don't agree with that.
Well, OSHA
and OSHA's the one that goes around and shuts. No, OSHA's the one that shuts the plants down. That's who does it.
OSHA should understand that about
OSHA don't play around.
Oh yeah, well OSHA doesn't want to talk about mad cow disease, dude. The FDA fought very hard. The Cattlemen's Association and the FDA, that was a war because it caused the Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease in people.
Yeah,
but there's also
that's why the FDA
chronic wasting disease and scrapie in goats. Chronic wasting in deer. And now there's a big problem in the deer population. They don't want to talk about any of that stuff.
Oh no, that's something. Mississippi just got through wiping that out, man. We had a big problem there for a while. But you know what?
People they got far away from it because they don't want to talk about mad cow. They will shoot you out of a cannon if you start talking about mad cow.
The deer population got so big in Mississippi and Louisiana because nobody hunts hardly anymore that they actually had to go in and started culling them. Man, they were mass burning them too. They had to go color
people in New Jersey, they went to that racetrack, man. They were eating hamburgers and they all got mad cow disease at Creutzfeldt-Jacobs, man. I mean, that's encephalopathy. That's the problem, man. It makes your brain swell and it looks like a sponge.
But
that's why it's called
spongiform
encephalopathy.
Yeah. When you go to like a normal restaurant, nobody cooks it that long because they'll ask you, do you want it medium rare, cooked well?
You don't know where the beef comes from.
And to get a burger to 160 degrees, you know how McDonald's does it? They have a press. And cook they pull it down. It's got a grill on the bottom and a grill on the top, and that's how they get away with it. But most restaurants don't do that. They just put it on a grill, flip it over, throw it on your burger. It's still exposed to air. It's never getting to the temperature it needs to be. That's why they had such a problem with that shit because nobody was following the rules. Once
you have to cook the burger for hours at over 200 degrees centigrade. But I'll tell you something. It caused a big mess throughout the beef community, man. Of course, the Cattlemen's Association doesn't mess around. And they hire most of the people that come out of the FDA, so they were just trying to squash. Yeah, they were trying to squash it.
The FDA couldn't get it under control. They turned it over to OSHA. OSHA got rid of it in no time at all.
In Japan, they test every cow's brain. This is why beef costs so much money in Japan. But they do it because they don't trust anything about God forbid if you do process that meat, people could die from that.
Well, and then Japan keeps a lot of their meat. Doesn't even touch the ground. So that's another little issue there.
Japanese are very weird people. They eat sushimi, which is like crawling with worms and parasites. But then they test every cow for spongiform encephalopathy. It's very, very interesting. It's kind of backwards, but fine. Hey, man, don't eat beef? If you don't eat beef, you don't have to worry about anything.
Well, they grow it inside. So, not all of it now. You got to remember, Japan's got a very small area where they can have cattle. That's why a lot of their beef's imported. But they also have, the Kobe that they grow off the ground. They don't even let the cows' hoofs hit the ground. They got them in a sling.
Did you ever hear about they got this tick now that's becoming like really omnipresent, man, especially in the Midwest, the bovine tick. And if it bites you, you become allergic to red meat. Isn't that crazy?
That's a little weird, but
imagine that though, a little tiny thing like a tick, man. A tick is technically an arachnid. You know what I mean? It's like a spider. It's got 8 legs and whatever. But a tiny little itty bitty tick could bite you, and then boom, you're allergic to beef. That's it. You're done, man. That's amazing. That's why I love infectious diseases. I've studied them all my life. It's just kind of a hobby to me, man. I'm a backyard type of studying type of dude, but really interesting stuff. How powerful it is, really.
Yeah, so I was reading a thing while we were talking. It says there's no effective treatment available for cure of mad cow disease in humans other than burning their bodies. Well, wait, if you're alive, that doesn't sound like a cure to me, man. That sounds like a damn death sentence. What that sounds like. I'm not laughing, people. I'm not laughing at anybody particularly.
It's illegal to burn the bodies, man. To burn the cows, they need to bury them on the farm that they came from. They don't even let them go take them somewhere else because they're afraid, and they have to wrap them up and all kinds of stuff. So it's something that's fearful. It's fearful, but man, of course, if that spreads to the beef population. It was really big in England. Remember, England's kind of
It
a
was
dirty,
big down here for a long time.
England's kind of a dirty place. No offense to anybody in England. They had the foot and mouth disease, hoof and mouth disease for a long time. Swine flu was big in England, and so for a little tiny burg, you would think that they had more. I don't know. Have it more together. So, I don't know.
Some things they got it more together, and some things they don't.
They have a free.
I agree with Michael on this. No, I agree with Michael on this.
They have a free
if
health
Michael's telling me, if Michael's telling me you can't kill it to 200 degrees, I'm agree with you. I don't know as much about it as he does. No. Let me explain. I used to work in the industry. That's why OSHA's always had their standard of 162. But you know what? They might have raised it since then. But he's right. As far as I know, on mad cow, I think if you do burn it, you're spreading it. If y'all was y'all, I would check. You know what? I'll do y'all a favor and look it up while we're talking. But I'm pretty sure when Michael and I are talking, we're usually pretty informed on this. That's why I was talking about the 162 because I worked for OSHA for a while. It's also one of the reasons I tore people about the mask wearing thing because, being that I'm in the industry that I'm in, we have to have respirator masks that can go to, I think it's 0.5 micron. Well, COVID is smaller than that, which means it's penetrating any mask you're wearing quite easily. And it doesn't really matter. Most of the masks you wear, air's coming through the side and the top and the bottom anyway. But masks were more to make us feel comfortable around each other. That's what they were really for. But it always cracked me up that they said, oh, stand there for 10 minutes and then walk up 6 feet and stand there for 10 minutes. Well, we did an experiment. Just use a simple cigarette. Stand there for 10 minutes, blow your cigarette, inhale it, watch the smoke go around your head. Heat rises, and that's what your breath is, heat. And heat can stay up there for several minutes. When somebody else comes down, it's just settling on their head. So it really wasn't that. I mean, it was keeping your hands clean, keeping everything clean, get the shot. What was that, Jack? I'll look, but I would bet money Mike's right on this. No, we don't. It's just one of them things. Hold on.
I just read you the facts.
Let me hold on. It just came up. Okay, the rendering process cooking off dead and often disease-ridden animals used to make the supplement for animals' feed cannot kill the infection. It can only serve to spread it. That's their official thing. So, guys, like I said, that's why we do research, people.
So here it is, right? Here's another one. To destroy a prion, it must be denatured to the point that it could no longer cause normal proteins to misfold. Sustained heat for several hours at extreme high temperature, 900 degrees and above Fahrenheit, would reliably destroy a prion.
Yeah, that's putting them in incinerators, and that's what they did out in Wyoming and I forgot the other state. There was too many of them to bury, so that's why they did it. And they used incinerators. They weren't burning them in big bonfires out in the yard. That would have spread it all over the place. Y'all go read for yourself. I mean, I just pulled it up. There's several different sites that talks about this. You can check it out and see. But anyway, we're gonna switch gears here.
People should. It's chronic wasting disease. It's a very, very interesting subject, man. And also the cover-ups that has happened from government cover-ups is staggering. And, they try to pass it off, but, hey man, a lot of people died from Creutzfeldt-Jacobs that didn't need to die. And then, I don't know, just the whole system, you can go on YouTube and find people who worked in the meat industry who freely talk about it now, of what they had to go through and the government, pushing to keep it quiet.
What's that? Well, no, we're getting ready to talk about Biden in a few minutes, but no, I mean, just type in male cow disease and how to kill it, and it'll tell you what we're talking about right now. It's real simple. I mean, there's no. Well, if I thought Mike was wrong, I would argue with him, but I'm sitting here reading while we're talking, so there's no reason to argue about something that I already know he's right about. It's just a waste of my time. It's well, actually, you know what? The CDC does have a standard on this, and they'll tell you too. So the incinerator is the only way you're going to get rid of them or bury them, and burying is risky business because you bury them shallow, you're liable to spread the disease. Currently in the United States, it's under control. You do have to watch and things like deers we were talking about, and that's why Mississippi had put bounties on deers to have the herd thinned and to get rid of this problem. But just pay attention where you are. And look, when you go on, I like raw stuff, okay? It's hard on me. I used to eat raw ground meat out of the damn thing while my mom was making meatballs. So it's hard on me because I really like it. But if you feel unsafe, now it's not going to stop mad cow disease, but all the rest of the diseases that you can get from that'll make you sick, that's why the microwave was really invented. because it'll kill almost every disease there is. It's 1,000 watts. It's producing a massive amount of heat. So yes, if you McDonald's, a matter of fact, McDonald's started, even though they cook their hamburgers at 160, I think 170 degrees, they actually microwave the hamburgers now before they give you, because that's why they taste so shitty, before they put them out there, because it kills any disease in there. They're not worried about mad cow disease because they're testing before you ever get it. I guarantee you, big companies like that are testing their ground meat before you ever get your fingers on it.
So why is it that all the characters from McDonald's are like these evil hamburglar? You got the grimace. What is? I mean, a grimace is a smile a dead person makes when they die. Like their little lips are like curl up in the
It
edge.
was weird, and the guy who originally owned it wasn't like that. I mean, he sold
Goblins, and then the dude selling you the food is a clown.
Well, that's true, Mike. Zach, I can agree with that. I can't say that on the air, but I can agree with you 100% about that. I worked for him for a little while, and they pay you managers real good. I'm not going to lie, but you know what I taught him? I used to take the what we have, like, fajitas and stuff, or if we were making breakfast burritos, I would take the burrito wrap, put it in the bottom of one of our French fry things, and push it down and make a thing and make me a taco salad. That worked. They were like, I still remember when my supervisor came. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I made you a salad." He said, "It's really good." I said, "It is." He said, "You think we can sell it?" I said, "No, home office ain't going to go for it," but it was really good. And then we went and bought us one of them round baskets so we could make them all the time. Yes, it was fun, but and they paid me good. They paid me. I made $100 a year for Mickey D's plus bonus of about 80. So I was making $180. We're talking 35 years ago. That's like making 600 G's today. They paid me really well, but it's just, it's one of the things. Burger King flame broils their hamburger, so they're not even getting all whatever, not hating on you, Burger King, but flame broil is not exactly getting to the heat you really need to get rid of most.
Come on, man. I like my burgers medium,
I do too.
So
I
mean, like,
that's my problem.
So yeah, they want it to be like really pretty much way done.
Yeah, because they want to make sure there's nothing dead. But
don't you want a juicy steak? Don't you want that medium?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, when you go to like the Harbor or one of these places where we go after we've been drinking all night because they serve these big, thick burgers. Well, man, mine's usually almost rare in the middle. I love that damn thing, especially when I'm drunk. So if it's got anything in it, it's probably killing me right there, right? But that's just me personally, and I like my steaks medium to medium rare, depending on what I'm doing. And so you got to be careful with that kind of stuff. But yeah, I live in a state where they actually test for everything because it's a big beef state, just like Louisiana is a big beef state. Texas is too; it's a big beef state. So they really stay hard on making sure everything's clean and well regulated. But that's not all states. A lot of states aren't like that, and a lot of states are buying beef from other states. And they're just, and they're buying the cheaper cuts because they're trying to get it in. And you don't never know where that shit's been or what's been on. And so it's always good to know your source.
It's important for your body to encounter bacteria just to be able to fight it off and be strong, Y'all
remember when they came out against the bacterial soap saying that it's making kids and people's immune system drop down just like taking too many antibiotics?
Absolutely.
Yes. That's part of growing up is the body gets exposed to stuff and the body becomes immune to it. But if you don't give it a chance oh man, look. Oh, Fuddruckers had a good burger, man. They used to have it. Well, there's no more down here. But they used to have a good burger. And see, theirs was like medium. So, it's always a little red in the middle of it. I mean, that burger was about yay thick. Had that nice salty bun on it. Yeah, it's good stuff.
For me, burgers on the run, I like Five Guys, man. I hear In-N-Out Burger is the best. I tried to get it in Utah.
In California, In-N-Out Burgers aren't that good.
It was the middle of COVID. There was a line going down the street, and I don't have that kind of patience for a damn hamburger.
They're really not that good. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're not okay. Let me be
In-N-Out, isn't that good? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, let me be fair. They're a decent burger. But I come from the D South where, California.
Wait. All right, dude.
Is, man.
I'm going to cut you off right there. 0 to 10.
I'd give him a 6.
10 being the best, 0 being the worst.
Where
do they rank in your 0 to 10 burger?
I give In-N-Out a
6. Yeah, yes, that's
6.
Decent. That's halfway.
That's decent.
So where does McDonald's rank?
I actually know the owner, but in case y'all didn't notice, I know the owners of Five Guys. Five Guys, I'd give them about a 7.5. Five Guys, actually, this is so funny. They used to not be in the burger business. They used to be in painting business. They were Five Guy painters, yeah. And then they got enough money that they opened up the burger business. So, but they got really good fries. I like them damn salty fries they got.
Oh, the fries are great.
They make it different out. Yeah, and they're always packed out there. You see Chick-fil-A, the guy. I don't even try to get a Chick-fil-A anymore.
I've never had it.
But I don't. As chicken goes, I give it about a 6.2. But
it's not around where I am.
It's religious, man. The place has always got a line wrapped around it for 6 miles and shit.
Wow.
So,
well, it means it's good.
Oh yeah, well, not necessarily. It's a 6. No, it's no better than Cane's. I don't know if y'all have Cane's where y'all are, but we get Cane's. Well, we have Cane's. This was named after a dog, by the way. It's this business that opened up. They got good chicken. They only got chicken nuggets though, and chicken sandwiches.
We got this
Not
place
chicken
called
nuggets, chicken strips. But
we got this place called Cocaine's.
Yeah,
It's Coca-Cola, and you know.
But anyway, yeah, it's funny because my aunts and them grew up in the Coca-Cola that had cocaine in it.
Oh,
I didn't. I'm a little. I missed it by just a couple of years, but they did. And I used to wonder why they get so hyper and shit. Now I understand why. Oh, no,
so what about Hawaiian burger?
I never had a Hawaiian burger. I never had one of them.
You know who makes the best burgers? Honestly, are diners. You go to a diner and you're going to get a great burger usually, man. I mean, and they're big. They do them right. They do them how you want them, and they have the big onion rings or fries. I love a diner, dude. I love eggs at a diner, and I love burgers. See, Louisiana
is kind of unique. All of our bars, not now, but when we started doing this, all of our bars are required to serve food now. So you walk into like Geno's. Oh, Geno's had the best po' boy. You get meatball po' boy, roast beef po' boy, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, man, they were delicious. But so the Harbor is just a bar with a restaurant in it on the side, right? They make a great steak, by the way. They make their burgers. I'm not shitting you, are this thick. They cost $14, mind you, but they're this thick. And then they put that much cheese on top of it. They're about yay big around. I mean, you're all dripping down eating.
14's not bad.
It's a good burger. It's well worth the $14.
14.
That's
cheap.
Well worth it.
For around here, you pay 15,
burgers.
16, and it's not even going to be anywhere as good.
You're right. You pay, but anyway, Mike. We're gonna move on. It's making me hungry. I'm gonna get up and go get something to eat, man. I'm telling you, I'm getting hungry while we're talking.
We're talking about food.
Well, I gotta watch Michelle and Amelia. If y'all know the host from the Outer Realm, when we get done in the evenings, a lot of times we start talking about food. Like today, I put a muffalata up today. I didn't see that from Central Grocery. Central Grocery is a 115-year-old place in New Orleans. They bring in all this stuff from Italy. They always have. In the old days, they used to serve in the poor days. So a nickel, you could get a loaf of French bread this big with roast beef debris on it, and that's what they used to feed the people like digging the canals and building the levees and stuff. And they also put the ones with French fries on it now. But they make a muffalata that's this big around. It's about this thick. Some bitch is just fabulous. I posted one earlier on, I think I put it on TikTok. It's probably on Facebook somewhere too. They are good.
Amelia
stuff.
sent me a bunch of pictures from Canada Day of all this food that she made. Oh, my God.
Yeah, she's always cooking, man. It's amazing the girl ain't 500 pounds.
If I was with her, I would never even leave the house, man.
I know. She's like,
I'd never leave the house. I'd make her happy.
I'm going to send you one. Next time I go, actually, I was talking with Jack when I was down there today, and I said, I want to send one to one of my friends in Canada. This isn't going to cost me anything. Yeah, he said, I don't know. He's going to check into it because since it's food, he don't want to get in trouble because, like smuggling diseases in the country. I don't know how that works. So he told me he'd let me know about it, though. So next time I go down there and see him, I'm going to find out.
I'm actually considering starting a straw smuggling business into California, man. A coyote smuggler of straws. You think I could be lucrative? Because, a straw is a beautiful thing, man. And the fact that they're outlawed, you got to use a paper straw. They're horrible. They taste horrible. They fall apart. They're just stupid. Paper and water don't mix.
No, that's why in the old days when they made the paper straws, they used to dip them in wax and give them to you like that.
Oh, no, now they got stainless steel, but then you can't clean them on the inside because there's a little tiny straw, so they go kinds of bacteria.
You got to buy one of them little weird brushes like you use to clean your pistol. You got to get one of those for. But anyway, we got to get into some Biden stuff because we got to talk about crazy Joe Biden.
I'm just saying it's crazy.
Yeah. So I heard today the business groups are bashing Biden over his new executive order targeting what they call anti-competitive practices. So he passed a new bill to whoops, sorry about that. I lost the whole screen there for a minute. Shit. Sorry.
Damn.
So he's going on and on about this. He wants to pass this bill, or he's passed this bill already. So these companies are like, wait, you're making it easier for China to compete. Don't you hate China? You're American. You're supposed to hate China. Oh, are they giving your son money? I mean, these people are pissed. They are just high. They got big businesses. Whereas, Trump had trouble with big business because Trump was a maniac. But Biden's now having it because Biden's acting like he's like, well, a communist. He thinks he's Xi Jinping. That's what he thinks. I mean, wanting to go give people shots in an arm at their house, putting executive order on companies that they got to do things. He really does think he's Xi Jinping. And I warned you right in the beginning, he's not what y'all thought he was. I said, look, the man's got something to prove. He was so pissed. If y'all watched him under Obama, he was pissed all the time. He's always walking around like, always. He was pissed. He thought he should have been president. He thought he knew more than Obama, which he probably did because he'd been a senator for 35 years. And Obama made a lot of mistakes, but Biden should have been there helping Obama not make those mistakes. But not what Biden wanted to do. Biden was jealous. Now, Biden got to be president now, whatever terms, however he got in there, and he's going to show you people that he knows what the blink he's doing. Even though today I seen him with a picture like he was like this. Let me take my glass off. He looked like I was like, really?
Trump was right when he said that Obama took Biden off the trash heap, literally, and put him in that position as vice president, and that he did, Biden's been there for 50-something years in D.C. I mean, wow. It's exactly the way you said, though, that he was going to run it his way, but the guy's nuts. He's
nuts. And you don't know who he's taking advice from or who he's telling to write these notes. See, that's what worries me. He goes out, he's got a little cognitive abilities going on at the meetings. Like, I want y'all to do this, this, and this, and they're writing it down. And then they know later in the day he's going to be kind of goofy, so they just put whatever they want in those. I have never, I'm 58 years old, I have never seen a president or a guest of a president have footnotes on your lap while they were talking.
That's crazy.
That's like an insult to the guy next to you. Oh, well, you're not important for me enough to remember. Like, come on, man. Dude, get your shit together and step down. And then I'm calling Kamala Hillary, Jesus. All of Kamala's staff is basically quitting on her, saying she's a mad woman, she's insane, she's a crazy bitch. And
that's why I'm attracted to her, man. I figured it out.
My God, nice, I'm crushing Kamala.
Because she's crazy.
You just got crushed on it because she got kahunas, that's all.
I'm attracted to crazy women, man.
Yes, you are. We do know that. He is attracted to crazy. He's not the only guy.
I can prove it. I got to try.
You're not the only one I know like that. I know several of my friends are like that. Yeah, several of my friends are like that, too, that they're attracted to crazy women. But
they're attracted to me.
One of my good friends is he's always he said he's got this thing about crazy redheads. He's just I always tell him. I actually had a dream about 12 years. I said, dude, I said, crazy redhead's going to kill you. You better stop it. And one I'm trying to just put a knife right through his shoulder right there, just whoosh. I was like, told you he's trying to kill you.
We used to party across from this a mental institution called Creedmoor, right? It was in Queens, man, and there's a park across the street, so we go there and drink at night with everybody else, from the clubs, like after, like way late, right? So all these women were like looking out the window at me, like, "Hey, baby, hey," to like yell, like this, is like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever the hell it was. "Hey, baby," my friends are laughing because they know that crazy women love me. I would do very well in a place like that.
Guys and girls, I want to introduce you to the woman I cheat on my wife.
Hey,
with,
baby.
Okay? Shh, y'all can't let her know this. I cheat with this woman. I want to introduce you. Her name is Martha. She's very pretty.
Martha.
She is.
Don't point that gun at me.
But in her heart, she's a bitch. I just want y'all to know that. But that's Martha. No, that's Martha. I'm getting ready to buy Martha a mate called John. It's a 45 cal. And anyway, we're gonna wait. I thought about a 50 because I was talking to Mike the other day. But we're gonna get into that tonight.
Yeah.
It was a Desert Eagle automatic, which was kind of strange to start off.
I still like the 10 millimeter Glock, man. I think they're beautiful.
Yeah, Glocks are okay, but Glocks can't shoot as straight.
Accurate, yeah, but 10 millimeter is such a beautiful round, man. Accurate and reliable. That's the two things.
Have you priced ammo lately? You better just go on with yourself.
80 cents a piece.
Yeah, that's cheap shit ammo. You're getting good stuff like the double grain. That's gonna be.
I'm saying just for plinking,
Yeah.
Target
now
shooting.
That one I can get anywhere from 40 to 60 depending on what. I use 147 grain in it, not the 115 because I don't like it. But the new cal I'm getting is going to be 246 grain. They're about $1.05 a piece. So
isn't that crazy? And not long ago, you can get
10 cents a piece.
Bags, 100 rounds of the Czechoslovakian full metal jacketed non-corrosive rounds for like $20 for 100 rounds.
And it will come back down, people, but you just got to do it. But hey, speaking of that, so that's going to kind of segue us into this story right here. Let me find it right here. Man walks
Shooting.
up and shoots a couple dining at the Houston Aquarium, then turns a gun on himself.
Dang.
All right. Here you are, you're sitting in the aquarium, you're having a nice steak or a nice seafood or whatever, enjoying your dinner. And you just look up and somebody pop, and then pop.
And I bet the guy that got killed didn't even want to go out and have dinner there. I bet she dragged him out. Let's go in the aquarium.
Probably so. That's the sad part. But anyway, they're dead now.
I just had to add that in there.
Well, this segues into the next story. So Biden wants to put all these restrictions on guns. Well, okay, Biden. And Uncle Biden, don't take this the wrong way, okay, man? You're a little crazy cracker, but look. The violence isn't in the states where the guns are. All right. The red states don't have this kind of violent gun violence. They just don't. Neither do the purple states. The states that have it is Illinois,
New York,
California. These are in New York. These are blue states.
California.
And these three states we're talking about have the strictest gun laws in the country. I mean, you can't even put more than 7 rounds out in California. It's hard. You got to go through a damn background check to buy ammo out there.
Yep.
So why?
Because it's all about illegal guns, and they never want to go after illegal guns. They never say a word about illegal guns. They want to go after legal gun owners.
There's 47 states that are going to get extremely pissed if you try to get into their guns. Just leave the guns alone. I agree with background check. Every gun I've bought up had to have background check. This one took about an hour to get me checked.
I got news for you, man. Upstate New York, there's gun clubs all over the place. People love their guns. There's hunters here. There's all that too. I mean, even on Long Island, So and I know a lot of Democrats who love their guns. I know people in Vermont that love their guns. So
look at Vermont and Maine and Mass and all. They're gun-toting freaks up there. And they got open carry in states like that. They don't want to get rid of their guns either.
But if they want to go after the loopholes like the gun shows, right, and the fact that a lot of states don't require much paperwork, sometimes none, for you to buy not handguns but rifles, But now like most states are saying, like, you go to a gun show. You still have to get the paperwork. You have to go to a gun dealer and get the paperwork, and then they have to broker the deal for you. So it's doing stuff like that, trying to keep guns out.
It's kind of strange the way all that works. Now, by the way, Zach, I open carry a lot.
But illegal guns, you can get anytime, any day, any night, any price.
You can go right now in the city of New Orleans. There's 2 neighborhoods. You can go walk down right down, and if you got a handful of cash, you say, "Hey, look, I need a gun." They say, "What kind?" They'll even get you the model you're looking for. Now, it's going to cost you $1,000 in cash, but it's illegal and it's going to be yours and nobody's going to kill it. Now, I wouldn't buy one because you never know who to kill with them damn
But
guns.
let's just say the average price for a 9mm Taurus on the street is probably around $100, $150. And they're dirty. They've been used in crime, but they're readily available. So it doesn't take much for these guys to get hold of a gun.
But
and then they take that gun and
for
these are responsible gun owners who are going to a gun club, learning how to shoot a gun.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you bring that up because I'm getting ready to buy a 45 from a customer of mine, and so we've both been background checked, so it's not a big deal. But still, there's no paperwork involved in this. He's going to sign the gun over to me. I'm going to give him the paperwork that I bought the gun from him, and that's how it's going to be. But that's all there is to it. So it's a little strange how that works. But see, Zach. So I'm shopping in the grocery store. I got my gun on me, right? I got not this one, but I have my other one on me. And so I'm walking around, and I can carry concealed down here too in both states, but I didn't want to. I just had it out where you could see it. So I'm standing by the deli. Guy walks up to me and said, this is his words. "It is so nice to see you open carry. I feel so much better." He said, "You look like you'd take somebody out if they gave you trouble." I started laughing. And I said, "You're probably right." So then I'm standing in the line, checking out. The 2 guys next to me said almost the exact same thing. He said, "What are you, ex-military?" I said, "Yes, ex-special forces." He's like, "Oh, see, it's so nice, man. Somebody goes crazy in here, you'll take them out, and our lives won't." And these people were actually appreciative that I'm walking around. They don't let me be. Come on, look, I look like crazy some days when I'm not dressed all nice. I mean, I look like I'm in work clothes, my hair's everywhere, my beard's all strange, I'm wearing all kind of crazy. I'm not gonna be a mask. Nope, apparently not. They tell, and so I go and my wife needed something in Walmart, and I hate going to Walmart. I just don't like the place. So, and at Walmart, I'm not hating on you. I'm sure there's a lot of people who love you. I'm just not a big fan. And so I run in. I forget I got this one. I got Martha on me, right? She's in this holster right here. This little one that clips onto my pocket or my belt, wherever I want to put it. I like it in my pocket better than my belt because I like my hand hanging lower. But anyway, I run in the store, right? The girl sees me at the door. Her eyes are like this big, but she doesn't say anything. So I run to the pharmacy. I'm standing in the pharmacy in line. 4 people had to tell me about having my gun. Nothing bad, all good. I'm just waiting for somebody to go off and be an ass. Nothing good. So, all good. So I go get in line. I'm checking out. Another guy next to me said, "Man, it's so nice to see you open carry. I feel so much safer in here." And I'm thinking to myself, again, you don't not going to be the guy who shoots your ass. But still, I can understand that thing. Yeah, see down here, Zach, in Louisiana, Mississippi. Well, in Mississippi, it's completely open carry, just like it is in Alabama, and concealed. Louisiana, you have to have a permit for concealed, but since I was ex-Navy and Special Forces, I don't have to be. Hey, Sean, what's that?
You know, it was messed up though. Like I was watching a video earlier about a guy walking through some towny park in Ohio, where it's open carry state, right? Open carry is okay, but he had like all these guns, and he dressed up in the military gear, and what he did was scare the crap out of people there. And they don't know he's making some statement. They don't know he's like Second Amendment test. And here come 9 cops. They were all very professional, handled it professionally, but that's the type of stuff that scares the crap out of people. Or
it
people,
does. You shouldn't be looking like I went in the bank a week before last. I was almost in the bank when I realized I had my gun in the holster. So I went back and put it in the car, but the holster was still on me. And the branch manager is a good friend of mine. She goes, "What's that for? To hold your phone?" I said, "No." I said, "That's a hold Martha. She's out in the car." She said, "Martha?" I said, "Yeah, my 9mm." And she's like, "Oh, thank God, because you can't bring it in." I said, "No, I'm not going to bring it in. I know better." Well, a couple of months ago, I'm in the casino. I had my 380. My 380 is only about yay big. You can't really see the little baby. And I got 2 of them. I got them from my wife, really. So I got it tucked in my back and the host in the back. I didn't even think about it the whole time I'm there. So I'm sitting down and go gambling, and I felt this thing jig me in the back, and I realized I'm carrying this damn thing. Well, you can go to jail for bringing a gun in a casino. It is highly illegal down here. So I'm kind of, after that, I got my chest out, trying to keep the shirt tucked, walking out the door real fast to go put it in the car. I've done that about 3 times. And you got to be aware of, like, Linda had my coat on one day, and I had a little 25 that I gave to a friend. Come on, it's a pop gun. I mean, if you shoot somebody, it would probably even bounce off their ass. But I had it inside the coat pocket. So I went to hug her, and I put my hands in the coat pocket, and I realized the damn gun was in it, so I had to go bring it to the car. Because, I just don't want to get caught in a casino with a gun, because you will get in trouble. So, but I walked in the hotel in Vicksburg. It's on my side. The guy's like, "Oh, man, that's nice. Can I look at it?" I said, "Nope." He's like, "What?" I said, "You can look at it like this, but you can't touch it now." And I don't know, you might be me. I mean, anytime a hand, a guy dropped a clip out of it anyway. But
you know what? The handgun market has really steered towards women these days. Because like you mentioned, the 25, the 25 was very popular for a long time because it's so small. But now you have 9mm. You even have 45s, the size of the 25.
Right now,
very, very small in your hand. And then they have pink guns, and they have like all kinds of things customized for women.
Do. So, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know this, don't matter what company makes them. So like we'll use Glock because people know it. So you can get a Glock, a 9mm, or 45 about this big, easy to conceal. That's a small one. Then they got a mid-size and they got a large one. Mine's a large one. My son carries a mid-size. It doesn't matter. They're both very accurate guns, mid-size, small, or large. Just they're easier to conceal when they're small or mid-size, and that's why people buy them.
Yeah, large is kind of bulky, could be heavy. I mean, the animal's going to be the same.
Yeah. That's why this one is open carry. And the only real difference is that it goes by clip. So the small one's going to hold about 7 or 8. The medium size is going to hold anywhere from 17 to 19. Well, anywhere from 15 to 17. The large is going to hold anywhere from 19 to 25.
You see now in New York, that's like so illegal. Yeah, the people are restricted to 7 rounds in your magazine. Even a rifle, man, 7 rounds.
Now you look at this one. It's a 20 round.
Unless you're at the range. If you're at the range, you can do the 10 rounds.
Yeah, this is a 21 round.
Unless if you're law enforcement, you can use the bigger magazines.
But so that's a 21 round. I actually have 34 round clips for it. Those are really for the range, or if you're out somewhere, you just want to go pop off some rounds. Or
you know what? It's nice because you don't have to reload as much. Especially if you're target shooting, man. It's kind of nice having that capacity.
So you guys see what happens when we get on Biden and his gun laws.
I used to love Beretta, man. Beretta is beautiful.
Oh, I
still love a Beretta, man.
They really do. They really do. Now, this was from earlier, which we didn't get into. This was citing the rise of the Delta variant in Los Angeles and in Las Vegas. And if you see right next to it, you'll see it says Michael Angley predicts this 3 weeks in advance. I put that in there because I want people to realize what we were talking about. Now, we're going to move on to this next one. The worst speech of Biden's presidency, opinion by Peter Bergen, CNN national security analyst. He's basically bitching about the speech, the excuses that Biden's using to withdraw from Afghanistan. Now, if y'all have been paying attention to Afghanistan, the Taliban's making swift moves in there because Biden don't know what he's doing. Now, we're not going to have all the troops out to August 31, but he's not doing it right. See, Trump had made a deal with the Taliban, and he was setting up a treaty with the Taliban.
Right.
Well, Biden's not going to honor the treaty. So the Taliban's like, screw you. You're not going to honor the treaty, then we're going to go just take the AFO. And now we got China trying to cut deals with the Taliban. Now, all of a sudden, our Pentagon's like, whoa, wait, what are we doing? Should we go back? Well, Biden's not going to go back.
Did you see the Taliban just seized a whole bunch of our equipment, U.S. tanks and all that, and right from the Afghan forces? They just went in and took it. The Afghan forces have no heart to fight.
No, they don't. You see, Haiti. Haiti today asked the president to send troops down to Haiti because somebody assassinated their president, and now they're trying to screw up the infrastructure, so they want us to send troops there. I'm thinking, man, look. If we're going to be the world's policemen, which I don't mind if we are, we need to start getting something out of it. I mean, we need to get like free oil or something. When we took over Iraq, the oil prices went down because we would say, hey, that's
opium. We got opium out of the deal. That's when the opium went nuts. People, it's everywhere, right? Heroin and all of this stuff. I mean, think about it. From the time that we invaded Afghanistan.
Yeah, so according to this, it was his ill-considered, hasty withdrawal from Afghanistan remarks. He called them the straw men, littered with false assertions. So he's saying everything that Biden was saying about this was a lie, which was true. Biden made a lot of lies about why we were getting out of Afghanistan. And then the other day, an Associated Press reporter tore up, what's her name? What's the redheaded bitch's name again?
Saki. You hate saying that.
I like to drink sake, so I think it in my head. Saki. So anyway.
Saki. Think of Sucky
Don't
Saki.
even go there. Just don't even go there. Just crazy.
Sucky Saki.
So
you'll never forget it now, though.
He's tearing her ass up about. First, he's tearing her ass up because she goes, "Well, the Republicans want to. They want to defund the police." Everybody in the room, you could hear the whole room actually went silent. I've never heard the press room go silent before. The whole press room went like.
I never heard of one Republican ever say,
"Let's
defund the
haven't.
police."
And right now, again, you can see it all over our country. Defund the police by the Democrats. That day, 3 more Democrats came out and said defund the police. Now the problem is, like Littlefoot found out, it doesn't work. People are dying in her city now. What was she blaming the 3 states around her for guns coming into her area? I mean, come on. No, Littlefoot, you've got the most restrictive laws in the country for gun violence, for guns, and you're getting people killed left and right. I mean, you've had children. There have been 17 children in the last 3 years killed by stray bullets. One little 9-year-old girl up in her bedroom reading her book, doing her homework, boom, bullet right through her head. Wasn't intentional. It was an accident.
There were dozens killed this weekend, the 4th of July weekend.
The guy was he riding on a bus the other day? Bullet comes through, kills him. I mean, it's got to the point where it's ridiculous.
They don't care. They don't care.
And I'm gonna tell you now, they ain't getting my guns like the pride of my cold dead hands because I don't feel comfortable. The reason I bought Martha was because a couple of my friends in New Orleans. So, I had one friend get robbed on St. Charles, which is one of the richest neighborhoods in town. They took his car. I had another one on 3 of them lost their cars. 3 got carjacked. One guy's driving home. He owns a nightclub. He closed his nightclub. He's driving home. Just counted up his cash. He thought somebody was trying to steal his cash. No, somebody just took a random shot at interstate, hit him in the shoulder. He drove himself to the hospital. Lucky bastard, he didn't get worse. And it was a 9mm round. It's a good thing it was at a long distance shot, or it might have killed him. And,
I got shot at in Syracuse, man, going past a huge graveyard area there. But they were probably pointing the guns at the car. It ricocheted off my roof. That the mark is still there. It's like a little mark, a pretty big mark, but a few inches over, it would have went through my window and probably would have got me. You know what I mean? There's people who are crazy out there, man. And those are illegal guns. I'm sure there was an illegal gun,
And then now, so we're talking about Hades, wanting us to come down there, but it's worse. So it's looking like China's going to invade Taiwan now.
Looks like
technically, we don't have a defense treaty with Taiwan, technically, but we have an unofficial one with them.
The Constitution says we have to protect them, man. The way they set it up, so I don't know how that really comes about. But
so I don't know how Biden's going to do this, but if they go invade Taiwan, we're going to probably get involved in this. And China, I laughed the other day. This is so funny to me. This is Xi Jinping threatening the United States. Oh, we got a bigger navy. We got this. his own admiral. He had 2 admirals and 1 general defect to Britain. So did Russia, by the way. So his admirals the other day on TV stood laughing after he said, really? He said, that paper navy you got? He said, that's one of the reasons I left. You wouldn't build the real one. He said, it's a paper navy. He said, 1 carrier. He was talking about the new one. He said, it could basically take out most of China's fleet. He said that it's garbage. He said, you didn't see, and this cracks me up. We've already done the sub thing on them 3 times where we just popped up in 4 different areas with nuclear subs off their coast. They didn't even know they were there. Actually, they didn't even know they were there until we told them they were there. So then we got a destroyer, not an Agus. It's a newer one. I forgot what it was called. It just sails, they're doing they got a big fleet down in South Pacific doing their thing, showing how bad they are. This thing sails up on the side of their new carrier, the one they just finished building that can't fly yet. Right. Just parks it. And it's cruising alongside for like 30 minutes before anybody realized it was in the middle of their fleet. This thing could have took out like half their fleet before they even knew what the hell was going on.
Allow me to clarify, though, biggest Navy. We're talking about very small boats, and they did that on purpose just to say they have the biggest by number. But let's just say that the soldiers in China have not been paid in quite some time. They have their auxiliary troops haven't been paid at all, and then the retired haven't been paid at all. There's dissension. You have a couple of million of them who are very angry because of this going on. So they have no passion to fight. They have no passion to represent, Xi Jinping. But check this out. At the same time, India is massing weapons that we're giving them basically, and we're selling them anyway, right? And then their aim is to go after China. They have the population base. They both are roughly the same, 1.3 billion. But India's got the upper edge because they've got the passion to squash China. Now, with the pandemics and everything, this is a good time to attack. If you know anything about war, and I know you do, Joe, this is a good time to attack.
This is a good time to start a war. It would help to alleviate a lot of things around the world. But actually, Sean, the story was that a couple of assault domes had been converted to hold large amounts of prisoners for some reason. I don't know what they mean by prisoners. Now, there's some other weird shit been going on. In Arizona and New Mexico, they got these trains, and they're trains. They're just complete trains. These things like 5 miles long, and they just got cells on them. They look like 2x2 cells, and open air cells, by the way. Don't know what they for. They've been around for about a decade now, maybe longer. A crazy friend of mine found out about them. Then on top of that, we just realized we've been watching these weird domes and these weird rectangular buildings being toted back and forth. They look like either going underwater or underground. At first, I thought maybe they were connected like a pipe system. But then I realized there was too many of these rectangular things to be pipe systems. There's some kind of little rooms. Somewhere we're putting this underground or underwater. I don't know where, but we did find out where they're being staged at out of Pensacola, Florida, North Pensacola, Florida. We stumbled on it. We were actually house shopping and stumbled on it by sheer accident.
Let's go back to the final years of Obama's administration where the Army was actually doing combat warfare training exercises here in the United States. And then people kept questioning, why are they doing that? Why are they training for urban combat here in the U.S.? And they didn't have an answer for them. Things got really crazy during that time, and it seems like they were setting something up. That's what it feels like.
A little secret for y'all: the majority of military comes from the heartland in the South. They will never turn on their own. It's not like trying to get people, like if you had a bunch of people from up north turn on the South, that might be different, but the Southerners are not going to turn on each other.
They're all individual Americans.
Yeah. They would actually go after the military first. So.
Yeah, they all believe in something, and people aren't as brainwashed as they used to be.
It's one of the reasons people don't know this, but there's 3 states down here where almost all of the top secret shit is done, and the reason why is these people don't turn for anything, not even for money. It's for some reason, California people have a lot of problems with selling off secrets. The Southerners don't. They're very patriotic. That's not what they do.
But you can't discount psychological warfare because that's where it all starts. You can't, and then, all you have to do is cause a slight amount of doubt in a soldier's mind, and then you've won the war. You know what I mean?
Chris, you want to know how I found that out? I was working for Lockheed. I was doing some technical electronic. I was actually not supervisor. It was consultation on some of the electronics they were doing. And it was funny because I asked the guy, he said, no. I said, why do you have so many facilities down here? And that's when he told me. He said, no, Joe. He said, we have a lot of Air Force, military. It's why Eglin Air Force Base tests almost everything that's non-nuclear is tested at Eglin Air Force Base, all of it. And then there's 4 or 5 big Navy bases down here. And come to tell you, if you look where all the ships are built, it's from Virginia down and around the coast. That's where almost the majority of them are built at. There's a few out in California, but not many. And almost all the big technicals, the really top secret stuff is built down here. And there's reasons for it, but there's more reasons than just that for it. One, we have deep sea access, and we have protected harbors because it's the Gulf of Mexico is protected. So you have to get into the Gulf. The only way you're going to get something in the Gulf would be a submarine. You're not going to sail any ships into the Gulf without being seen. It's highly unlikely you're even going to get a submarine into the Gulf without being seen. But still, it's just different than being open like the Pacific and the
But there's Cuba right there, man.
Yeah, we ain't worried about Cuba. We done took Cuba over. We just ain't told nobody yet.
There's
But
Cuba.
didn't you know Obama conquered Cuba? Didn't you hear that, man? I thought I told you. Obama was down there sucking baseballs and smoking cigarettes. Oh, sorry. Sucking cigars and playing baseball. I got that backwards. It's weird, Sean. There's a lot of weird stuff been going on down here, and a lot of stuff been moving around and stuff. But I'll tell you this. I always know when something's coming. There's two reasons why. Right now, I live in between 3 military bases. So anytime anything's going on, 3 big military bases, anytime it's going on, they start flying shit all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
You'll start seeing these big cargo planes. But more than that, the fighters start flying all over, start doing practice runs and all. Then you know. When you see that, you know within 30 days to 60 days, there's something going down. And it kind of bugs me sometimes. But lately, they all been really laid back. You do see patrols running and stuff like that. And I didn't realize how many anti-aircraft weapons we had along the coast. I stumbled by them by accident, too. Well, you don't know. If you go drive around D.C., there's actually missile bases, or not missile bases, but missile launchers stationed in strategic places around D.C. Oh, yeah. They got some outside the city. They got some on top of buildings. It's kind of crazy, man. That's so-called protect the president from a nuclear weapon. But we got a lot of new weapons now. But right now, in case y'all didn't know this, in hypersonic weapons, China was ahead of us, but we're ahead of them now. But Russia is still ahead of us on hypersonic weapons. The problem is they can't build that many of them. We're going to build tons of them. And if y'all didn't watch, we sent this new program to Israel. Israel just used it on whoever they're fighting with over there, Hamas. They swarmed 100 drones in their ass and just blew the shit out of the base, blew the shit out of the military. They didn't know what the hell to do with them.
We have lasers too, man.
Yeah, we got a lot of kind of stuff we don't like talking about. And then we got the new destroyers out there. The Zimwald says it could the Zimwald alone, when it's got its railguns attached, which it doesn't have right now, but it only takes a day to put them on. But the Zimwald said it can actually sit 40 miles from China's Navy and just cut their ships in half without getting inside a missile range. Hey, Jay, what's up, man? It's interesting, but while I was in the military, I got my marksman, my snipers, and my sharpshooters badge, which is hard to do, people. There's only a handful of people in the country even get all 3. It's not an easy thing to do. You have to qualify at 3 different distances with 3 different rifles in all 3 of them. So the first one I qualified was with the M14 at 100, 200, and 400 yards. You got to get all 20. You got to go through the center. You can't be off to the side or off to the right. You're not a sniper if you ain't hitting the center, man. That's how it works. M16 I qualified with, which the M16 is kind of a sloppy gun. I hate to say that, but it is kind of a sloppy feeling gun.
They didn't like it, man, when they introduced them. They kept blowing up in people's faces.
And then
the materials.
They were crazy.
Yeah,
and they're not
Colt,
like
the Colt.
If you get
It was made by Colt, and they kept reverting back to their M1s because they were more reliable.
Yeah, M1 carbine's a beast. But then they gave me I would call it a 30-06. It's actually a bigger round than a 30-06. So this is a true sniper's rifle. This damn rifle, the first time I shot it, it blew the whole red target out of the damn thing. It was like, shit, what am I shooting here? This gun will shoot 2 miles. 2 miles. I'm thinking, how the hell? So I'm trying to figure this out.
You're talking about the 308? 308 by 51. It's a NATO round, man. That's a big round.
It's a big round. So I'm sitting there at 500 yards with this thing. It's so easy to shoot the gun. They got an inside recoil in it, so it doesn't have any kick. So you're just sitting there, and it's got a tripod if you want to use it. So you just sit there, pow, pow, pow. It's like shooting butt. I fucking loved it. But you know what? Most of the guys in the gun couldn't even shoot the damn thing. They were off, missing targets all over. I love the gun. And all 3 targets, 20 for 20 for 20 for 20, 20 for 20. I swear, the first job I was offered when I got home, New Orleans police called me and said, "We need a sniper." I said, "It ain't me." He's like, "Yeah, no, your shots in pickle. We'll pay you $80,000." I said, "Dude, I don't want to kill people." And I don't. I did it because I'm a coon-ass country boy who liked to go hunting when I was young, and we used to have contests who could shoot the deer through the heart. That's just how I learned to shoot. And I learned to shoot several different rifles and several different shotguns. It's just how I grew up. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't even special forces training. It was just the way I grew up and the way I was taught. My grandpa served. My grandpa served as a sniper in the military in World War II. And so, I mean, I was taught by probably one of the best, but I didn't think about it when I was a kid.
He probably used a big 7mm Magnum. That was what they liked. The Springfield 7mm mag for a sniper rifle.
He said they used to steal cushions out of the Jeeps, a little padded cushion to put on their shoulder when they shot the damn thing because they kicked so hard. He said kick like a mule, but still, it was
a 7mm Magnum. That's a big round, man.
But and he said it was good for about 800 yards, 900 yards, pretty accurate.
They used the big 50 calibers.
Amelia's giving us a countdown. Well, we ain't got like 6 minutes left, so you're good. Man, Jay and Sean, y'all should join us earlier. Y'all can always come jump in the chat with us. I can Let me see if I can squeeze in a couple more of these before we get out of here. So where were we?
It's amore. It's amore.
Hasty with straw.
Want a bigger pizza pie.
Oh, Russia threatening to leave the International Space Station. Why?
We are leaving.
Screw you, Americans. We're going together. Well, you know why? Because China's building a space station.
We don't like you anymore.
I think that's why. I think they're going to hang out with China. Screw America.
Miss Vodka.
And again, they want to, we're talking about China invading. Here we go. I love this one. Kamala Harris is lying about the GOP voting laws. So Governor Kim is suing her for lying. Finally the GOP is growing a set. I mean, for years they wouldn't sue anybody. And now finally they're starting to sue out their ass all over the place.
They're all a bunch of clowns. They're all a bunch of clowns. They don't even serve you a burger. They're just a bunch of clowns, man.
And then it says, defunding the police amid skyrocketing gun crime and national embarrassment is much more than 2 hours of what? Oh, okay. So they're going on and about. So again, Psaki saying, "Oh, it's the GOP," and then of course here we got half the Democratic Party talking about defunding the police. But now they've kind of got to back off of it. This is what makes them look so bad. They've got to back off of it now because their states are having spikes in crimes. Not everybody else's states, just their states.
There's a crime spike going on in these states, in New York and California, man. There's crime spikes happening because of that stuff. Let's burn down the police station. Let's defund the police. When did the GOP ever say that? Well, I don't even like the GOP.
No, I don't either.
When did they even say that? When? Never.
Exactly. But it's funny because it was what was it? Oh, so a friend of mine was telling me how great the Democrats are. I said, is that really true? He said, yeah. I said, then why are they abandoning their states by the millions? I said, New York and California lost 2.5 million. That's 5 million that left, y'all. I said, we ain't going to talk about what's going on in Illinois or any other states. I said, in this year alone, almost 10 million Dems moved out of 7 blue states.
That's it.
Yeah, man, really. And it was so funny. I love the Texas governor. He goes, okay, we'll take you liberal bastards into our state, but you got to live in Austin. I was like, yeah, that's right. So y'all can't change the voting here. Y'all got to live in Austin, which is probably the best place for them. And by the way, people, I'm not hating on Austin. Austin is a nice city. It's a clean city. It's well ran. It's well put together. It's probably the only liberal city I've ever seen that actually is got its shit together. And that's because it's a college town. But it's got a great place to party. Got great food, great entertainment. So it's a good place for them to go. But I know we got to get out of here, Michael. Anything else before we get out of here? Y'all be sure to catch Michael on Tuesday and Thursday. Excuse me.
Watch out for those militias out there. You had the Moorish guys that got caught in Massachusetts, a whole bunch of them heavily armed, I mean, you got a lot of people who are losing it, man. There are a lot of people, all types, not just one type, but they're losing it.
And Jay and Sean, remember, guys, if y'all want to come hang out with Michael and I, y'all can come out. Just let me know when you're in the room. If you want to hang out, I'll send y'all a code. Well, we've changed the format of this show somewhat, and I'll get into that on another show. But because it shows up for war, we really kind of changed the format of it, and we're looking for a third or a fourth that fits in with us too. We had Gregory Miller used to hang out with it, but his wife beat the shit out, so he can't come out and play no more. But before that, it was a great trio. So we're looking. We really want to balance out the show. We do a lot of news. You can hear what we're talking about. We're doing real news. We're not doing bullshit news. Everything we've talked about tonight is serious news. We're just presenting it differently than Fox or than NBC would present it. We're just giving you the news and how we feel that it's going to change the country.
We use facts. That's the difference.
Yes, And if you notice, we're usually right on what we're talking about. There's not a lot of dissension between the two of us because we take our respected sides because we know what we're talking about. And just like when we were talking about the mad cow disease the other day, I just deferred to him on this because that's the way you should do it. And we go back and forth. We know a lot between us. There's more than 100 years of experience between us. And if we bring anybody else, it's great. So
that's freaking old, man. That's old. Now I feel ancient.
Ancient. When we got 140 years experience, then we can say we're ancient.
My back hurts.
But we had a great crowd tonight. I think quite a few people listening tonight.
Where's Mike Kane?
What do you mean we had a sexy audience? Of course we have. I'm always sexy. I don't know what the hell you talking about.
Sexy, baby.
See, I was lucky. My daddy taught me something. When he's in his 70s, women used to flock him. Never could figure out these old, bald, gray. How the hell had all these women chasing him around? Because he was
a pimp?
Because he was sexy, baby.
Was he pimp?
He had a lot of women chasing him.
Usually women hanging around.
But it was great, and it was always fun to watch. And just women, because my mom would not put up with that shit. By the way, she's like,
well, you know what? Sometimes people have the Kavorka, man. You got the Kavorka. Your dad probably had the Kavorka. Women flock to that. You know how crazy women flock to me? Because I got the Kavorka too, man. They see
the crazy Kavorka.
like a moth to a flame.
But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to check out because we got another show coming up behind us. But I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Centralist. Again, remember to catch us. We'll be back on Monday with the Paranormal Show. It's only going to be there for a few weeks. It's going to be, excuse me.
Uh-oh.
It's going to be flip-flopping with this one starting in I think August. Anyway, like the middle of August. We have a new show coming on the network. I'm not going to announce them until it's actually official. I discussed it with the potential host. They're supposed to be sending me over the information. So if it is on cue, it will start on August 2nd. So we're always looking for good hosts. We're always looking for good talent. We got a lot of friends out there. We've been around a long, long time, longer than neither one of us want to admit to.
Someone's texting you, man.
Yes, I've been getting texts all night.
It's probably Amelia, like, hurry up, you can't put me on here.
I've been getting texted all night. I've been getting questions texted to me all night. And again, people, you can join us in the chat room. You don't have to text me on my phone. Or you don't have to hit me on Pal Talk either. But on that note, good night and stay tuned.
See you guys
later, babies.
Bye.
Bum, 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 bum.